I'm Dan Dalton, and I'm the Vice President of Global Partnerships at Wisk. So Wisk is developing an autonomous, electric, self-flying aircraft. And the idea is that we're able to actually provide this as a safe opportunity for air mobility for everyone. So what we do with that is there's two key parts to that: safety and everyone. So safety is reflected in our design of our aircraft and our operations. We're very focused on electric aircraft. So you'll see behind us we have an electric motor set that drives our propulsion system. But in addition to that, our operations are really designed to be as safe as possible through the use of autonomy. So when we talk about autonomy, we're really focused on being able to have that human supervisor on the ground, because we have no stick and rudder pedals in the aircraft itself. And there's no secret hidden stick or rudder pedals either. We're going straight to autonomy. And we believe that given today's technologies, this is actually within the realm of not only the possible, but it's actually in the realm of the near term. So we've been working with the FAA for years now on the certification of this aircraft. And we have a type certificate application in, as well as working on our G1 and G2 with the FAA. So it's all coming along pretty well. For Wisk, we've actually been flying 6 generations of aircraft over the last 13 or so years. And so through those years of experiment and testing, we've actually found what makes the optimal design, which is behind me here. So, but in the beginning, it started with the Generation 1, which was really a proof of concept of, can you use batteries to power a vertical lift capability? And so that aircraft was a success. We were able to show that a scaled model could actually be used with both batteries and electric propulsion to create a vertical lift. So then we moved on to Generation 2. The second generation was, now can you put a human inside of that and do the same thing? So we were able to be successful on that one as well. Very quickly moved into Generation 3, which was the concept of, can you take and actually put the human, the battery, and the vertical lift propulsion system, as well as a pusher prop, to be able to have it all come together in what we believe is the first general aviation fly-by-wire electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft ever to be flown. In fact, that aircraft, the Generation 3 aircraft, was nominated for a Collier Award in Aviation Excellence. So from that point forward, we were confident in not only the propulsion system, but also the autonomy and the avionics stack, that we then removed the pilot after Generation 3, and we haven't put one back in since. Generations 4 and 5 had a similar propulsion system that we had in Generation 3, but then we put it on a low-wing aircraft. And we, like I said, we removed the pilot. That was a 2-passenger aircraft. And really, Generations 4 and 5 were focused on, how do we make sure that we're now integrating greater and greater capability, robustness in the operation, as well as in the actual propulsion design, the battery design, and these types of things. From those learnings of Generations 4 and 5, we then came to our 6th generation aircraft. And this is where we start seeing a lot of the culmination of all of the work of the previous 5 generations and the 13 or so years of working in the flight test realm to bring this aircraft to fruition. So you have a lot of the same avionics stack, you have a lot of the same operational capabilities, but you have some other features, such as we've gone back to a high wing. Previously, the Generations 4 and 5 were low wings. This high wing affords us a number of features, such as the ability to have easier passenger ingress and egress. It also allows us to be able to have a more safe environment should we have a blade out. The high wing now affords us that ability to really protect the cabin environment for the passengers on board. So a lot of these things are based on the testing that we've done over the years. And yeah, it's a great design, and we really enjoy it. So Cora was really our branding for Generations 4 and 5, and really 5. I mean, that's really where Cora came into play. And honestly, Generations 1, 2, and 3, and even 4, we were really pretty quiet about. The aircraft were painted white. We tried to do them subtly. The flight testing was subtly done. But then in around 2019 or so, we really started to become more robust and public about Generation 5, and now obviously Generation 6. You probably would not have seen us at air shows presenting like this even a few years back, let alone with Generation 3. So now that we have a lot of confidence in this design and the operation, and we have the fantastic support of Boeing as our key investor, we are now moving forward with the operations and the design of this aircraft. But when you look back at kind of the history of where the aircraft and the company came from, a lot of what we have done and most of our testing has been done at the Hollister Airport in California. And the Hollister Airport is a fantastic environment for us because not only is there a large open space, but there's also GA traffic, many student pilots learning how to fly Cessna 172s and whatnot, as well as a great glider community, in addition to a public use community in the form of CAL FIRE, which provides fire suppression air support. So we've been flying in and among the pattern with all of these other and other airspace users for over a decade now. And so having that ability to practice airspace integration of an autonomous aircraft in an actual environment, not just some restricted airspace on a military compound where no one else is going to be around, having that ability to demonstrate what safe airspace integration looks like, and not just safe airspace integration, but also community integration, making sure that people understand both on the ground and in the air what it means to have an autonomous aircraft flying in and among the community. It's a key hallmark, I think, of Wisk, and something that we really pride ourselves on, and that we look to extend it in the future as we now engage with specific cities that we're planning to launch the capability in. So yeah, so when it comes to international expansion, Wisk, back in the day, Wisk had an early idea that we would actually be able to start parallel operations in New Zealand and perhaps other parts of Asia Pacific. And we haven't lost that. That is still in our blood, and we're still looking to drive to that same idea of how do we take advantage of the great opportunity that exists in New Zealand, Australia, and many parts of the Asia Pacific realm to drive the future of autonomous aviation, not here in just the United States, but also in other parts of the world. So we have a great partnership with the New Zealand CAA, as well as Airways, which is the ANSP there. And so they're actually working with us to demonstrate autonomous flight in and among their airspace users as well. So there's actually a airspace integration trial program, which Wisk is part of, where we have been flying aircraft at various altitudes in and among other VFR and IFR traffic. And we'll be doing more of that later this year and into next year to really, again, not only demonstrate to the other airspace users what this means, but also how do you work with controllers to actually talk about, are there specific IFR procedures that we need to kind of accommodate or address? Are there nuances to an IFR autonomous aircraft versus an IFR piloted aircraft? So working through all these types of activities in real time with actual ANSPs, air navigation service providers, being able to work through this in reality is much more effective, we think, than just having theory. And so it's actually working out really well. And the other exciting thing is that many of the regulators that we work with and the ANSPs that we work with are eager to share the data between each other. And so it's not just that it works in New Zealand, it actually works in other countries that have good relationships with New Zealand, and they're sharing that data to help make this autonomous aircraft lift that much lighter. So this year's been a fantastic roadshow and debut for this aircraft, our Generation 6 aircraft. So we've gone from revealing the aircraft just last fall to Paris Air Show most recently. Now we're here at Oshkosh, and there will be many more events later this year. I think that this is just the beginning of what will be a fantastic journey of us showing not only the Gen 6 aircraft here in a chalet, but also flying the Gen 6 aircraft and letting people see that autonomous aircraft are not just something of the distant future. They're actually something that we can see and will soon be able to use in our lifetimes, if not in the next few years. So we're very excited to be able to show this aircraft today and this week at Oshkosh, but really showing it flying is kind of the next exciting bit that we're very excited about. So the ultimate goal for this aircraft, the use case or the business case, is really to help people move across the cities, or maybe from a downtown area to a suburban area. So most of our rides will be in the order of 20 to 30 minutes long. They're not going to be long commutes between cities, really. And the idea is, again, to really help enable safe everyday flight for everyone. So how do we help move people back and forth across a city? One of the key things we look for is is there a lot of congestion in a city, and would people be willing to be out of that congestion? Do they not want to sit in their car anymore as the traffic holds them back or down for that matter? So that's where these aircraft will really be effective is, hey, we're going to move you out of your car into the air, get you to where you can want to be, so you can spend more time being where you want to be versus trying to spend more time getting there. So that's really what we're focused on. Wisk, as a company, we're 700 or so strong now. About 100 to 150 of those are actually Boeing employees embedded in Wisk to help us on a couple of different fronts, whether it be certification, design, operations, as well as community engagement, government operations, all these types of things. So really robust partnership with Boeing on that. As for the global expansion, we're always looking for new, great talent to join us. And so if folks are interested, please go to our website. It's wisk.aero, and there you'll see a careers section, and we have a number of positions that are open. And if you don't see one that you like today, feel free to check back, because we're always looking to grow the team. It's a great place to work, and we're having a really fun time doing it.